Hey guys, how's it going? Today I just wanted to share with you guys a little summertime EDC update. It's been a little while since I made one, and since it is the summer, a few things have changed and a few things have stayed the same. And real quick, I wanted to show you a little slipcase that I made for my small micarta Sebenza. I made this out of some stingray, and I put a leather lining on the interior. It's kind of hard to tell. It's all black and everything, but it's got a nice suede finish. It's very soft, and overall, I think it turned out really nice. The whole reason why I've been put off by doing anything with stingray is because it's really difficult to sew and keep consistent, like your stitching, that is. And I just recently figured out a way to keep everything in line, evenly spaced for the most part. Because when you're doing something that's not actual, cowhide leather, when you do cowhide leather, you can use a stitching groover that makes that line that your stitching goes in, and that's evenly spaced from the edge, so that solves your distance problem. And use a little overstitch wheel to judge where your stitching actually goes, each little hole. And with stingray, there's no way to mark the stitching or do a stitching groove. So what I had to do, I actually had to use a sewing machine without any thread in it. So I just used the needle itself and just punched all the holes with that. So it fed the leather in, punched all the holes, and because it is stingray and there's little calcium deposits on the surface, the needle will bounce off of them and kind of hop around each little bump. So the stitching's pretty much as even as you can get it, but it'll kind of bounce around depending on how the calcium deposits are. So, turned out really nice to me. Nice even stitching all the way along, if you guys can make it out. Stitched around the opening too, so all pieces of leather are nicely sewn together. You got the lining nicely sewn onto the stingray. So I think it turned out really nice. Very soft, not super soft. Stingray is, but it's nice and soft on the interior for your knife, so it's very protective. So just thought I'd share that with you guys. So there's one item that I've been carrying. I've been rocking that in the front right cargo pocket. So next would be my primary knife, I guess you could say, would be my large Sebenza. I've been rocking that in my one-piece sheath, so really like that. An alternative knife that I've been carrying quite frequently is my Paramilitary 2. I convex the edge on this so it's razor sharp. Might be able to shave a little bit of hair for you. You guys can probably hear it. Got the fan on in here so it's making the hairs fly around, but razor sharp, really clean edge. So really like that. Great knife. One update would be my phone. I previously had the LG Xenon. Good phone overall. It did everything that I needed it to do, which was make phone calls and text basically. And this thing does pretty much everything else. So everybody knows what an iPhone can do. Next would be my wallet. This is my little card wallet, as I call it. It can fit about 2 cards on each side, each slot, that is. So there's 2 slots on each side, each one can hold about 2 cards. This pocket I have about 10 or 11 bills folded in half, so the pockets do expand pretty good. I got some more IDs and everything. So wallet's another thing. And I've been carrying the 4.7's Preon 2 again. I really like the little simplicity of just clicking the button and it's always on low mode when you turn it on. I really like that. That rides in my front left cargo pocket. Since I'm wearing cargo shorts during the summer, I can actually carry that again. And next would be my lanyard. Just a snake's knot lanyard. I put a little noose knot, I guess you could say. I forget what exactly they're called. But if I wanted to put this around my wrist, I could just tighten that up and it'll just slide right up. So that's a cool little thing, I guess you could say. And I got my Meritech AAA, a Victorinox Classic. I mostly use this for the tweezers and the scissors. I put a little slip case on the front of it just to keep the tweezers and the toothpick inside so they don't fall out. This is nice and snug for the most part. It's not going to fall out. So pretty tight. It's not gonna slide. And you know, car key. Definitely always have this on me 24/7. So if I were to forget this flashlight, I'd always have a backup. So you know, that's just my typical EDC nowadays. I love carrying the Chris Reeves. They get used the most out of all my knives. You know, funny enough, all the scratches on these knives, there you can see one that goes across. There's a pocket clip mark. That's technically not from me. There's a little copper scratch right there from my jeans, those little copper rivets. I accidentally brushed it against one of those. There's another one right over here that actually got scratched when I was removing the pocket clip. These things are pretty much pressure fit, so they're so snug and tightly machined that I had to wiggle it out, and as I was wiggling I accidentally swiped it across the side. So there's a little tiny scratch there, and there's pretty much nothing on this side. So I really think the finish is pretty darn durable. You know, it doesn't really see that whole much, you know, abrasions, because it is riding in a sheath most of the time, but you know, keeps it nice and clean. And of course, the small cement is nice and protected in the Stingray pouch. I'll give you guys one more close-up before we go here. So, try to get a close-up on the stitching. It's kind of hard to see because I use black thread. But, you know, I used black thread because it wouldn't show up as much, wouldn't have to worry about it looking a little ugly because the needle's bouncing around. But, you know, I think it turned out really nice. So, decided to share that with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one. Talk to you later.